What's going on, Weekend Hangover Nation? I'm your boy Surf, and I'm back. All right, so off-season's upon us, baby. 2020, let's go. New NFL season, and I decided to handle this free agency a little bit differently than other people. I decided to sit back, let it go for a little bit, and by the time you get to the first weekend, most of the major moves are done. There's going to be still plenty of moves over the offseason, but I decided now I'm going to look at each individual's team's additions, subtractions, all that good stuff. So I'm going to start out with the Arizona Cardinals. We're going alphabetical on this motherfucker. And offseason moves. Did any other team win bigger than the Cardinals in the early 2020 offseason? No? I didn't think so. The Cardinals essentially got the 2020 season started by making a splash trade. They traded the corpse that once upon a time was a decent running back in David Johnson, plus a 2020 second-round pick and a 2021 fourth-round pick for DeAndre Hopkins, and a 2020 fourth-round pick back. The trade had the entire NFL community like, what the fuck? Bill O'Brien, what the hell are you doing? Cardinals got a top 3 receiver for a laughable return. It's insanity. Absolutely insanity. I could go on and on about how amazing Hopkins is, and we all know the man is amazing. He just plucks the ball out of the sky like I've never seen anybody do. But I'm going to talk about how terrible David Johnson was and why the fuck anyone would take him on like an asset. How you could sell him as an asset at 28 years old is just, I'm good. Johnson's last 2 seasons since returning from that horrific knee injury were god-awful. 3.6 yards per carry, then 3.7 yards per carry. Honestly, Johnson to me is a one-year wonder. Don't get me wrong, it was one hell of a year. 2,000 total yards and 20 touchdowns, that's a real season. But that was 4 seasons ago. That's an eternity in the NFL. And everybody's like, well, he could do it all. Hasn't done it all in a really, really long time. Okay, I'm going to calm down here. Let's look at the rest of Arizona's offseason moves so far. The Cardinals put a transitional tag on Kenyan Drake, who was absolutely electric in Kingsbury offense after he moved on from the Dolphins last year. I like not investing in Drake long term. Don't get me wrong. I think Drake is fantastic. I think he's got home run ability. I think he's fantastic. But you don't overspend on running back one. That's just a fact. Look at David Johnson, man. You do not invest that type of capital in a running back, especially over a long-term period of time. I'm not sure Drake also can hold up being a heavy usage single back in any offense. He's never came close to 200 carries in a year. Never even came close. I think he's topped out at 170, and I think he's done that twice. And I'm just telling you, man, that even that has been a lot of wear and tear on a guy who stayed injured at Alabama. So dip your toe in first. You know what I mean? If he holds up this year, maybe extend him. But again, I'm not giving him that type of David Johnson money. I'm good. Next, let's talk about Devon Kennard, the edge rusher who started his career with the Giants, then really stepped it up when he moved to Detroit the last 2 seasons. 14 sacks combined. Not bad. The Cardinals gave Kennard 3 years, $20 million, and in a world where 3-sack-having Leonard Floyd signs for $10 million, that Kennard investment looks like a steal. I think he'll be a nice complementary piece with Jones. Next up, I got Devondre Campbell. He's a linebacker who signed a 1-year, $6 million contract. Wait, Surf. Wait. Don't the Cardinals have plenty of talent in that middle linebacking core? They do. But solidifying positions of strength is always a good idea. Campbell had 129 tackles with 2 sacks and 2 picks in 2019. And that was with the Falcons. I mean, I get that the Falcons' defense wasn't anything to write home about, but man, the man can really compile some tackles, man. Just putting that out there. So when you put that with his tackling ability, with his ability just to honestly plug holes, you put Campbell with Hassan Reddick, who's a Swiss Army knife, and you put him with Jordan Hicks, who can cover, who can tackle, who I absolutely loved in Philadelphia. You're talking about having one of the best interior linebacking groups in the entire NFL. I love it. Plus, he's only 26. He shows up, you extend him. He doesn't work out, hey, you're only on the hook for 1 season. Next up, I want to talk about Jordan Phillips. He's a 27-year-old defensive tackle who was one of the biggest surprises across the entire league in 2019. In Phillips' previous 5 seasons in the league, he was viewed as a decent rotational piece who honestly didn't do much in Miami or his first season in Buffalo. Then in 2019, he busted out in a huge way. 9.5 sacks, showing he can be a penetrating force from the interior. I am a little bit worried I'm a worrywart. You know, I mean, I'm a guy who I sit there and I look at what previously you've done, and then if you bust out in one year, I'm worried about that. You know, I mean, especially insane increases of production. I get a little nervous. Though that's not to say Phillips can't continue his upward trend. I just got to say, be cautious, because he could easily revert to that 19 tackle, 0 sack rotational piece that he was in 2018. Arizona signed Phillips to a 3-year, $30 million contract, so they clearly view him as a piece in a big way. But we are also talking about an NFL where 9.5 sack defensive tackles go for a lot more than that. Just saying. Arizona did some major re-signing work across their offensive line, re-upping in a big way with left tackle DJ Humphries and right tackle 2019 surprise Justin Murray. When you have a young, talented quarterback like they do in Murray, you need consistency, so I love re-upping the way they did across the line. Speaking of re-upping, the Cardinals gave Larry Fitz $11 million to stay in town just a little bit longer. Hey, Fitz is an Arizona legend, the single greatest player in franchise history, which is always a good idea to keep him in town. He was also productive last year. He had 75 catches for 804 yards. So, while Fitz isn't the same player he was when he was 26, at 36, the man's still putting in good work. Lastly, I want to talk about Zane Gonzalez. He's the kicker. They got kind of in a surprise when Cleveland cut him. And he wasn't that great in Arizona his first year there. But he was absolutely fantastic in 2019. He connected on 88% of his field goals, and finally putting a franchise who's been in desperate need of kicking stability for the past 2 decades, finally gave them a leg that they can count on. He doesn't have the most monstrous leg, but he went 2 for 2 from beyond 50. And if he has another year like he did in 2019, I'd expect the Cardinals to invest long-term in Gonzalez. So, all right, guys, it's been another Weekend Hangover production. I'm your boy Surf, and I'll be back with more free agents news, more offseason updates, more major trades. Hey, hopefully the Cardinals aren't done. Catch you guys later. Peace. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff too. Just thought I'd put that in there. All right, peace.